Hey everyone and welcome. When you look at any successful company, whether it's a tiny startup or a global giant, they all have one thing in common, a fantastic team. But how do those teams actually get built? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on the strategy and the process that goes into creating a true dream team. So let's dive in.
So, picture this. You've spent hours polishing your resume, you've written the perfect cover letter, and you hit that submit button. But what happens on the other side of that click? Well, it's a really complex and fascinating journey, and we're going to follow that path together, from the moment a job opens up all the way to long-term career growth.
All right, first things first. To really get this, we have to understand a massive shift in thinking that has completely redefined the modern workplace. It's all about the evolution from seeing people as just cogs in a machine to seeing them as the engine itself.
Now, all of this falls under the big umbrella of staffing, or as you probably know it, Human Resource Management, HRM for short. It's basically the entire life cycle of an employee in a company, from that very first interview to their last day. You can think of it as the strategic playbook for building and, just as importantly, maintaining the team. This slide right here really gets to the heart of it. On the left, you've got the old-school personnel department. It was all about administrative tasks, right? Shuffling paperwork, processing payroll, and just filling empty seats. But on the right, you have modern human resources, which sees people as a strategic asset. And this isn't just a simple name change. It's a huge shift from viewing employees as just another expense on a spreadsheet to seeing them as a powerful investment. The kind of investment that gives a company a real competitive edge.
So, with that new strategic mindset in place, how does a company actually go about finding these amazing, valuable people? Well, this is where the talent hunt officially begins.
You see, recruitment is so much more than just filling one open job. It's about strategically building a large, healthy pool of potential talent. Think of it like a pro sports team constantly scouting for the best players out there. The bigger and more qualified that pool of applicants is, the better the chances of finding that perfect fit. Not just for today, but for the future too.
The smartest companies, they often look inward first. Promoting a star performer or transferring someone who already has the right skills, that's not just efficient, it's a huge morale booster, and it rewards loyalty. And then you've got employee referrals. It makes sense, right? Your best people probably know other great people. It's all about leveraging the incredible talent that you've already got in-house.
But of course, companies also need to bring in fresh perspectives. And that's when they cast a much wider net. This can be anything from digital ads and job portals to heading straight to universities to recruit promising new graduates. The goal is to reach as many qualified people as possible. And in today's world, let's be honest, platforms like LinkedIn have become an absolute goldmine for finding highly skilled professionals.
Okay, so the applications are pouring in. That talent pool we talked about is full. Now for the really tricky part, making the right choice, and then bringing that person on board successfully.
The selection process really works like a funnel. At the top, it's super wide. You might have hundreds of applications that get screened for just the bare minimum qualifications. Then, the resumes are sorted more carefully to find people with preferred skills. From there, you get a short list of top candidates, and those are the folks who finally move on to the interview stage. Each step is designed to systematically narrow the field to find the absolute best person for the role. But getting the job offer, that's just the beginning. A great company knows that those first few weeks are absolutely critical, and that's where onboarding comes in. This is way more than just paperwork and getting your new laptop. It's a structured process to help new hires really understand their role, their team, and most importantly, the company's culture. Good onboarding is the difference between a new employee feeling totally lost versus feeling ready to make an impact from day one.
And that brings us to the next strategic layer, placement. And it's not a one-and-done thing, it's a cycle. It starts by collecting data on a new hire's unique skills. Next, you evaluate where those skills could have the biggest impact. Then you place them in that ideal role. And finally, you monitor their performance, not to micromanage, but to make sure it's the right fit and to make any adjustments if you need to. It's a constant process of matching great people to the right work.
So, the employee is hired, onboarded, and placed in their role. Is the job done? Ha! Not even close. The best companies keep investing in their people, helping them grow and perform at their absolute peak. It's time to level up.
Okay, this is a really important distinction. We all know the performance review, right? That formal, kind of awkward meeting you might have once a year to look back at what you did. But performance management is something else entirely. It's the continuous, forward-looking conversation. It's the daily check-ins, the weekly feedback, that constant effort to make sure an employee's work is aligned with the company's biggest goals. It's proactive, not reactive. And a huge piece of the puzzle for effective performance management is setting crystal clear goals. The SMART framework here is the gold standard for a reason. A goal has to be specific, so everyone knows the target. It needs to be measurable, so you know when you've actually hit it. It has to be achievable, so it's motivating, not discouraging. It must be relevant to the bigger picture, and finally time-bound with a clear deadline. This whole structure just removes ambiguity and gives everyone a shared definition of what success looks like.
And to get a really complete picture of someone's performance, a lot of companies are ditching that old top-down review for something called a 360-degree appraisal. Instead of just hearing from your boss, this method gathers input from your peers, from people who report to you, and it even includes a self-assessment. It just creates a much more holistic and, frankly, fair view of an employee's contributions.
So all of this work, the recruiting, the training, the managing, it's all building towards the future, both for the employee and for the company. So let's look at the final piece of this puzzle, planning for what's next.
Career planning is definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Internal planning is all about growing where you're planted, finding new opportunities right there inside your current company. External planning, on the other hand, is about looking over the fence, maybe add different industries or even starting your own thing. The smartest companies support both paths because it helps them build a more skilled and engaged workforce, whether those people stay for life or eventually move on. And really, this all leads up to the big one, organizational development, or OD for short. This is the ultimate goal. See, by investing in individuals through great recruiting, training, and career planning, the entire organization gets stronger, more adaptable, and way better at hitting its goals. From profits to happy customers, it's what connects every single person's growth directly to the company's overall success.
And that brings us right back to where we started. All of these processes we've talked about, from the first application to career development, they reveal a company's true philosophy. So the question I want to leave you with is this. When you look at your own workplace, do you see a system that's designed to invest in you as a valuable resource, or one that simply manages you as personnel? The answer says everything.